Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you have been here before. My name is Morgan. I had filmed another video that I was planning on posting before this one. I think this is the first video that I'm going to put up. This is going to be the start of an anti-mlm series here on my channel. I'm coming from the experience of working with Arbonne, which is a multi-level marketing company, or network marketing, direct sales, so on and so forth. They're all the same thing. I've had experience working in that company, so that's what I'm going to be speaking about. I probably will venture out and talk about other MLMs. Really what they all do really interests me, and not only that, but it sparks a lot of feelings, and I like to talk about my feelings. So yeah, hopefully you guys will stick around and come back for more videos hopefully in the future. And with that said, I'm just going to give like a little disclaimer. First of all, excuse my appearance. I'm comfortable going with it. The weather is fucking with me today. And the sun keeps going in and out of the clouds. This is the second time I'm filming this video because it was way too dark the first time. Now this is probably going to be a long one, so grab a drink or a snack, or grab a friend to watch with if you enjoy this kind of content. And I think the only other thing that I want to say is that I in no way am hating on people that are in MLMs. At the end of the day, what you do with your life is your choice. However, we all have the ability to speak our mind and speak from a place of experience, what I'm going to do. And I just hope that people can respect that and we don't have any issues. With that, this is going to be my Arbonne story. So I got into Arbonne almost 2 years ago. Actually, as of next month, it will be 2 years. And so I joined back in May or June, late May, early June of 2018. And how I got involved is through a girl that I was working with at the time. She was a manager of mine. We both worked at the same restaurant. I was a cook. She was a front of the house manager, and we had a pretty good relationship, honestly. It was both a blessing and a curse to be involved in an MLM with a friend, because I cared about her. I like to think that she cared about me, and ultimately it just destroyed our friendship, because I'm very vocal, or I have become very vocal about my experience, and I choose to talk about it because I think it's important to bring awareness to the world about the reality of MLMs and how toxic and disgusting and just sad they can be, and how predatory they are, and the kinds of people that are in them just aren't right. Not all, but you know, the people that we typically hear from in the anti-MLM community are the high up people that just, they're so morally screwed up, it's not even funny. Like, if you do a quick search here on YouTube for anti-MLM videos, you'll see all kinds of crazy horror stories, and you'll see screenshots and videos, and if you even just go search on Instagram or do a Google search, you'll see all kinds of shit. It's just literally insane, the things that people are allowed to get away with, and that they do get away with, except for as of right now, because the FTC is now involved. So it pays to bring awareness to these kinds of things, because now they're really in hot water. Honestly, we're all living for it, I think, in this community. And not for the sake of hating on people, like I said, but just bringing down companies that operate off of the failures of other people, you know, bringing awareness to it. I mean, even if we're not able to cancel these companies and make them close, or they are forced to rebrand and they still exist, you know, at least we're still bringing attention to it, and that's, at the end of the day, that's all anybody's goal. So yeah, I had joined Arbonne 2 years ago through a friend of mine at work, and it destroyed our relationship. It really did, our friendship. I was going to invite her to my wedding. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. Actually, there were a few people that decided to unfriend me and not want anything to do with me because of what I said. And it's unfortunate that I had to sign up through her, because whether I talk positively or negatively about Arbonne and my experience, she's a part of it regardless. And it's not like, what I say is not a reflection of how I feel about her specifically. It's a reflection of how I feel about the things I was told, and just the whole way that I was brought into this business and what I was, made to believe that really wasn't true. And I was sold on a false reality and a fake dream, and I'm not happy about that. And I don't hate her for bringing me into it, but I'm not happy that I considered her a friend, because really I think if we truly cared about each other as much as I thought we did, it wouldn't have happened. Would have been a lot more done to make sure that our friendship wasn't ruined. So I had first heard of Arbonne about 5 or 6 months before I actually joined. So this would have been in like the winter sometime, maybe late fall, early winter of 2017, 2018 is when I would have first heard about it. I didn't want to get involved with it. I really didn't know what Arbonne was, honestly. Had never heard of it before. Little did I know that my mom had actually joined Arbonne sometime in my life, and I just never knew about it, which is crazy to me that I didn't know that. I had never heard of Arbonne before, and the first time she reached out to me, I was like, no, it's not my thing, like, not interested, I don't have the money for it. So yeah, I turned her down the first time, and then about 5 or 6 months later is when she reached out to me again and said, and this is a whole part of recruiting in Arbonne, unfortunately, now that I, look back on it, if I would have said no again, I'm sure she would have reached out to me 1 more time or 3 more times. They put in a lot of their training, or this is a aside, we're taking a turn a little bit here, but in their training or when they're trying to teach people how to reach out to others, they say on average, I believe it's like 5 to 7 times is what it takes for someone to take a look at an MLM. And that's across the board. That's not just Arbonne. Other companies, I'm sure, have that same policy, or they tell people the same thing, that, hey, it's going to take more than, 3 or 4 times for somebody to look at something. And honestly, you're pretty lucky if you can get into somebody's brain before those 5 times. And that's if you don't get blocked, or you don't get unfriended, or they stop talking to you, or whatever. She reached out to me the second time, and she asked me if she could just share some information with me. And I said, yeah, sure. I wasn't doing anything. I was sitting in the tub on my phone doing whatever. Asked me, you want to take a look at this? So I did. I watched I think it was like a 20 or 25 minute video of a super successful person in Arbonne, and I feel like that's what they use to recruit people, because you can't just talk about, somebody who joined Arbonne 3 years ago, hasn't leveled up in any kind of way, or hasn't made a ton of money. They're not going to use that as a selling point. They're not going to use themselves as a selling point unless they're at the very top. They must get videos from corporate. I really have no idea, because I didn't try that hard to suck people in to something that wasn't real. I just couldn't do it. But I watched this video of some lady that had joined Arbonne maybe 20 years ago, when it would have been the right time to join. She was super successful. I'm pretty sure there were other people in that video too. I really can't remember. I just remember seeing that, you get trips, and there's all these different incentive things. You can earn cash bonuses. You get the free, it's not free, you get the white Mercedes with the Arbonne logo in like 3 different spots. Like, you get to pick out your own car from the dealership. That's another topic for another video. But that was really what roped me in, was the car. And then also the thought of having financial freedom, which is something that all of the MLMs like to throw out, is, join our company and you can have financial freedom and pay off your debt and not worry about where your next paycheck's going to come from, or like how much you're going to get paid, or you're not living paycheck to paycheck, or you can go take a vacation for 2 weeks if you want to. And you can make your own hours, you can work from home, you can be your own boss. There were all these different things that were told I really liked. I liked the idea of not having to go to my job, because at the time I wasn't enjoying it. I hated where I worked. So I genuinely thought that Arbonne was going to be the thing that would get me out of there. That would, be my quick solution. And in 6 months or a year, I was going to be out of there, and I would never have to look back. And I was super excited about it. I was freaking pumped that this was going to be the thing that would get me out. And so I told her, yeah, let's get the paperwork going, sign me up. And I signed up as an independent consultant, which is like the base level. You can either be a consultant or a preferred client, which both get discounts. And then as you move higher up in the company, there's like 4, if you count the independent consultant as a level, there's 5 levels, and you can go Google what they are. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but I was being told that, you know, you can buy a couple $100s worth of product, which isn't much at all. It's not. It's like 3 or 4 things is like $100, maybe even more than that, depending on what you buy. So I decided I was going to put it on my credit card. I had maybe $400 or $500 on it. I had like a $2,000 limit. Decided that I was just going to put it on there. And it was suggested to me to buy as much as I could, because then I had the opportunity to try all the products. Therefore, I was able to, or would be able to, sell them to people and recommend them. One of the biggest things that Arbonne consultants like to say to you when they're recruiting you is, you know, you're already going on social media, you're already talking to people, you're already having conversations, already in some ways recommending products to people, or services in any kind of way. Like if somebody asks you where you got your hair colored, or somebody asks you where your pants are from, you know, you're already recommending things to people in your everyday life. You're just not getting paid for it. And so that was the big thing. It was recommended to me to buy as much as I could afford, which I couldn't afford it, but I put it on my credit card anyways. And my first order ended up being just under $1,000, I think. I know for sure when I was in the company, I spent over $1,000 and I never made a single penny back. But of that big order, I got all the nutrition products. So I got like the 2 protein powders. I got a pre-workout, like a greens powder, fiber supplement, and like all these random things. And then I got the full skincare line, the RE9 Advanced, that they've been known for. Like Arbonne is 4 years old. So it's a very popular skincare line. And I had to buy that. If anything, I think if that was if there was only one thing I was going to buy, they would have pushed me to buy the skincare, because that is the thing that they're like gung-ho, like that's their thing, is the skincare. Everything else is next after that. So I bought all my products. I was super excited about it because they were hyping it up. And when I mean they, I mean my sponsor, who was my friend that had signed me up. And then when you sign up in Arbonne, usually there's someone somewhere in your upline that has qualified for the national vice president title. And so whoever that person is, wherever if your sponsor falls in their downline, that's your national vice president. Hopefully that makes sense. So I had a call while I was ordering my products with my friend. I was also talking to the national vice president. They were really hyping up these products. And another thing that I forgot to mention too is that the national vice president, this was another big selling point that roped me in big time, was my national vice president bought her big house. It was custom built for her and her husband in a really nice neighborhood in our city. She had her Mercedes. They didn't have kids, so I mean any ounce of money that she made was for her and her husband. And he was able to retire like super young, and start his own business. He's now got like an awesome business that he really enjoys. And that was another thing that really got me thinking, like, this is the thing that's gonna change my life. Bought all these products, super excited about them, and then I get them, and you know, I tried the protein powder, I tried the skincare, which, might I add, burnt the shit out of my skin, and I had to stop using it. Like, I could not do it. The stuff from Walmart does not hurt my skin nearly as bad, and it's probably 1/10 of the price. So it just goes to show that, I mean, it should be common sense that money does not equate quality always. And a lot of things, yes, it does, but in products, depending on what you buy, it doesn't always mean that they're better quality or they're going to work for you. You know, not everybody's the same. So people's skin is very, very picky, and my skin hated it. I genuinely thought that this business, sorry, the lighting's going all wonky. There's no clouds right now. so I apologize. But I genuinely thought that this business was a products only business. Like, that was the one thing that the only way to make money was to sell products. That's what I thought. And then I quickly figured out, after I had my Facebook launch, and then I had my in-person party that I had like one person come to, and that was my mom. After those 2 launches, which did not go over well, obviously, I quickly learned that it was not about the products, and it was about the opportunity, the business opportunity, and selling the idea of being your own boss and being your own CEO and owning your own business and creating your own hours and quitting your 9-to-5 job and financial freedom and all this other shit. That was business. That was how you made money, recruiting people. It was not about selling the products. I remember even asking, what if people don't buy them? And are they really hard to sell? And the national vice president told me that the products sell themselves. Those were literally her words out of her mouth. And I honestly wish that I had the message, because all messages that I've had, aside from the ones that I got from my upline when I decided to quit Arbonne, I've gotten rid of everything. I'm no longer a part of any of the Facebook groups or anything like that. I was told that the products sold themselves, and then all of a sudden you need to be selling this business opportunity, and we're in the business to serve people. We're a service. And I didn't even know what that meant. I really didn't. I don't know what it means to serve people in a business that isn't a business. It's not something that you're guaranteed to make money on. Like, when you think of business, you think of profit for people, and 99% of people, you can go look on the FTC website for anybody that is thinking I'm being negative and, spreading lies and stuff. No, it's documented. 99% of people do not make money, or they lose money in MLMs. 1% of people profit. And that's not even a big profit. That's just any profit in general. That's $1. It could be $1 to millions of dollars, but 1% of people make that. So, which is very alarming, and I really wish that I would have known that before I even said anything and responded to messages about getting involved with Arbonne. But I found it very hard to even... Sorry if you can hear that noise. Okay, there we go. I found it very hard to sell this business that I didn't know exactly what it was, and I didn't know what kind of success I was going to have. I didn't know what kind of success I could give to other people and provide for them. And if I wasn't able to reach it myself, how could I convince someone else to get involved and reach that? Just didn't work out for me, and I had a very hard time. I had business cards made. My family and friends, I was giving out like little sample packs if they were willing to take it, and I think a lot of people, just out of obligation and guilt of not wanting to hurt my feelings and wanting to support me as much as they could in this journey, they said yes and took them, and I never sold a damn thing from Arbonne. I didn't even have any kind of interest from anyone to sign up, to buy a product, to even freaking answer a message that I had sent to them. Nobody cared. Nobody cared, and nobody will tell you that. And even if somebody does tell you that they don't care, you're still told to reach out to them 5 to 7 times, because that's how long it takes for someone to say yes or to even look at information. That's if you don't get blocked or anything like that. You're just basically told to move on to the next one, and eventually you'll find somebody who is your perfect kind of target. And they do look for a certain kind of person. They look for people that are struggling financially. They'll look for people that... Sorry, I'm gonna do this. Hopefully that didn't ruin the lighting a little bit. I just moved you guys so that it wasn't glaring so bad, or like washing out my face, even though I'm really pale and I'm quite aware. But they look for... Oh, no, it's doing it again. They look for young people. They look for stay-at-home moms, single moms, people that want to quit their jobs, people that are struggling financially, people that have no friends, you know, in some cases, they look for people that want to lose weight, or, you know, the list goes on and on and on. There are so many things that qualify a person to be a target of an MLM, and not just Arbonne, just MLMs in general. You know, as much as people want to deny that, you know, they don't target and they're not being a predator and what they do isn't predatory and they're just trying to serve people. No, you're not trying to serve people. You're trying to make a quick buck off of somebody. And that's not me being a bitch. That's not me being a hater and trying to bring another woman down and, you know, I'm just a liar and this and that. No, this is a fact. This is a fact, because I did not want to be in my job anymore. And the person that signed me up knew that. And I was the perfect person to be roped into this. And I was, unfortunately. And like I said, it ruined a friendship. But I'm living proof, along with other people, that those are the kinds of signs that these companies look for. This is what they tell their people to look for. Is look for the stay-at-home mom, look for the person that has no friends, look for the person that is struggling with their weight, look for the person that, you know, can't pay their rent this month, and offer them this business and tell them that they can make money when they're almost guaranteed not to. It's just sick. It really is sick. I could not, for the life of me, sell a damn product if it was worth my life. I could not sell this business and believe all the shit I was being told, because it just did not feel right to me. I was not okay with cold messaging people and reaching out to, like I said, a single mom or somebody who, you know, thinks they're fat and they're insecure about their weight, because I've been there and I know how horrible it is. I'm still there. Even 4 years into working out, I'm still that insecure person, and I'm not about to go bring that person into debt just for the sake of making money off of them. I'm not going to do that, and not want to make money off of them so that my upline can make money. Not about that life. I want, if anything, I would hope that these people in Arbonne genuinely want to help people, because I just think they're all looking through rose-colored glasses and pretending that, you know, everything's fine and dandy and that Arbonne is doing nothing but benefiting people, and, you know, it's not causing damage to relationships, and it's not causing people to go into debt, and it's not taking people away from their family time, because it does take a lot of time to work this business. It takes a lot of damn time. You know, you can't fit it into a pocket of time like you're told. These women literally spend all damn day on social media. They're always on Zoom calls, they're always on training calls, they're always messaging, like cold messaging people. And it takes so much time out of your day. People just don't have that time. And you know what, I really wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to spend all this time into something I didn't feel comfortable doing. And so I didn't. And that came to bite me in the ass, because that's what my upline threw back in my face, is that you didn't show up for the trainings, and you didn't ever show up for the explore nights and things like that, where they shared this opportunity with people that were interested, or I never showed up to the team meetings, or I never jumped on calls that were like 4 times a week, or, you know, can be up to 4 times a week. I didn't have time for that shit. I had a full-time job, and I had a life. I had a relationship put as my highest priority. I had friends that I wanted to spend time with. I had a family that I wanted to spend time with. I don't want to be consumed by this job. If you work a 9-to-5 job, which they frown upon, and they make you feel bad because you work a 9-to-5 job, if you have that job though, you are able to clock out at 5 o'clock every single day. You don't have to think about it until 9 o'clock the next morning. You're still able to like mentally clock out of that job every single day. Arbonne is a 24/7, 365 thing. Those people are attached to their phones, and they're attached to social media and other people, and they will not admit it, but it's true. I've seen it. I still keep up with, hi Kiki Cat. I still keep up with a lot of people. You're so handsome. You're so handsome. I still keep up with people that were in my nation, and they're constantly on social media. So this whole, oh, you can just fit it into a pocket of time in your day, it's a load of horseshit. I guess the last thing that I want to leave with on this video, kind of an embarrassing like little tidbit story when I was talking about cold messaging. I had gotten to the point in my business where I was reaching out to famous YouTubers, like Tati Westbrook. There were some big name YouTubers that I was messaging, and I'm like, hey, like, have you heard of Arbonne before? I reached out to actually a artist that is local to where I'm from, Jess Moskaluk. If you've ever heard of her, she was big on YouTube, or that's how she got her start, and now she's, you know, a full-fledged artist. Super awesome. But I had actually reached out to her on Instagram and asked her if she heard of Arbonne. That is the amount of pathetic that I had reached in my business, because I was so desperate to find someone that cared enough to listen to me, and cared enough to let me, you know, even if they listened to my spiel and rejected me, all I wanted was for someone to give a damn about what I had to say, and I had no success. So that is just the level of low that I had to stoop to in this, to not feel like the biggest failure. And even then, when I did decide to quit and I first made a YouTube video and explained my experience, I had my upline throwing things in my face saying I didn't try hard enough, and I didn't, you know, again, show up to the meetings, and I didn't participate in enough things, and I didn't, you know, I showed up to university without my books, and how could I expect to succeed if I didn't do all the things that were necessary? And it's like, well, you know, you sold me on something that sounded like it was so easy, and you all say it's so easy. And if it's so easy, then how come I couldn't do it? So yeah, that is my story with Arbonne, and now I am a part of the wonderful community that is the anti-mlm community. Oh my god, his cute piece. For as much as the, you know, the people that are in MLMs, or as much as those people want to say that we're haters, and, you know, that we only tear women down and we do all these things, it's not about hating people, and it's not about getting back at them. It's about bringing awareness to the activity and the ethically wrong, morally wrong things that go on in MLMs that everybody seems to turn the blind eye to. The more that we talk about our experiences and educate people, hopefully the more people do not get sucked into these opportunities, and the more people steer clear from them. And hopefully one day MLMs will not be a thing. I really hope so, because there's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5 job. You know, I think people need to work 9-to-5 jobs to really learn what is acceptable and what's not acceptable, because like I said in the very beginning, it is just repulsive, the things that people say and the things that people do, and the way that these companies just let it slide. I encourage anybody who is interested in it to go, you know, just YouTube some anti-MLM content and see what's going on with the FTC, because there's some really interesting shit going on right now. And I will also be linking down below some of my favorite YouTubers to go watch, and I will also be linking some studies that were done by a, I have his name written down here. His name is John Taylor. He is part of the Consumer Awareness Institute for the FTC. So he did a study back in, the one that I was looking at was from 1999, but there are more recent ones done. But he did 15 years worth of research into these studies. It just goes to show that, you know, MLMs don't like to own their shit. The reality is that they have the potential to ruin lives, and I think we need to talk about it and spread awareness, and of course do it in a positive way, but also not turn a blind eye to this stuff. With that, I will see you in the next video.